Mr. Speaker, today was an amazing day. And Mr. Speaker, the member for Shrewsdale, spoke about my use of adjectives today, descriptive adjectives, Mr. Speaker. But you know, Mr. Speaker, the opposition continue to say several things about me. But there are a few things that I like, Mr. Speaker. I like the use of language. The former Prime Minister and I always discuss the use of language, how you put words together. Dr. Kenanton is a master at language, Mr. Speaker. And I also always discuss with a journalist the use of words, Mr. Speaker. But so I allowed the opposition to live in the world of folly and continue to pretend, continue to try to denigrate me, Mr. Speaker. But today was an amazing day. Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition stood on his feet in full view of the entire country, on the entire world, who will see it now and who can see it later. And he said that the Schengen visa for St. Lucia has been revoked. So, Mr. Speaker, you must understand the seriousness of that statement. He didn't say it, he thinks, he made a point that has happened, Mr. Speaker. And as Providence would make it, Mr. Speaker, I got him, I said to him, bring the document. Now, if I had not told him to bring the document, or if he was talking to his base every Sunday, he would have told them that, and he would have gone, rah, 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 and he'd have repeated it, Mr. Speaker, and put it on the ground and caused members of the public to believe that this government caused that to happen. That has been the modus operandi of the leader of the opposition, Mr. Speaker. He says whatever he wants. And when you tell him that is not true, he finds a way to say another thing, to say what he said was not true is true. And he says truth is what you perceive it to be. Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition stayed in a meeting and he heard somebody say that I did not implement or did not appoint an integrity commission for 2 years. Mr. Speaker, and I don't have any time to deal with that misinformation because I have a whole country to run. So I don't have any time. But I want to make that point clear, Mr. Speaker, on the Integrity Commission. Mr. Speaker, the Integrity Commission is appointed for 3 years. The Integrity Commission was appointed for 3 years, Mr. Speaker. Now, the last Integrity Commission, and now you remember, Mr. Speaker, that they won the elections in 2016, right? 2016 won the election, Mr. Speaker. When they came into government in 2016, they found an Integrity Commission that was appointed from February 2013 to February 2016. They did not appoint an Integrity Commission until April 2018. They're the ones, they are the ones. They did not appoint an Integrity Commission from 2016 to 2018. 2 years. But they say I'm the one that did not appoint it for 2 years. Now, look at my issue of Integrity Commissions. 2021, April 21, the Integrity Commission, it ceased because it was appointed to April 21. From when they appointed in 2018 to still 2021. I appointed till April 2024. I appointed, Mr. Speaker, April 2021. I appointed in January 2022 when I came into government. I came in September, in July 2021. I appointed in January 2022. Then again, I appointed again in January 2025. But they say I'm the one that didn't appoint an Integrity Commission for 2 years, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, now, that's just one. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, and this morning I heard somebody say on the radio, what has Nigeria done to St. Lucia? And that was solemn, and that was deep. What has Nigeria done to St. Lucia for the opposition to have been so brutal on the visit of the Nigerian president, Mr. Speaker? What has Nigeria done to St. Lucia? Has Nigeria ever enslaved St. Lucia? And, Mr. Speaker, the President Integrity Commission that I have appointed, I've appointed 5 members of the Integrity Commission, and the last letter for the Integrity Commission appointment, the leader of the opposition responded on June the 23rd when he said that he's noted my intention to appoint 2 other members of the Integrity Commission. So there's a full functioning Integrity Commission as we speak for 2025, Mr. Speaker, for the period 2025 to 2028. But he says I'm the one that did appoint a leader Integrity Commission. So let's get back to Nigeria, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what has Nigeria done against St. Lucia? Tell me where in history has Nigeria done anything to St. Lucia? Or any leader of Nigeria has done anything to St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker? But a member of the United Workers' Party, an acclaimed new candidate, was personal assistant to the president of the WTO, Mrs. Ngozi, who was our guest for independence. You think Mrs. Ngozi would like to hear what they are saying about her country? You think she would like to hear what a member of the United Workers' Party is saying about Nigeria and the government and people of Nigeria and the visit of the Nigerian president when you were the personal assistant to Ngozi? Mr. Speaker, that is the problem with the leader of the opposition, Mr. He is so self-righteous. He is so pure, Mr. Speaker. But so anytime, even though you show him the facts, he comes with an excuse. Mr. Speaker, just before I continue, Mr. Speaker, I just want to tell the member of the show one thing, that we have noted that the roads in the country, said so for a long time, the roads in the country didn't get bad in 2021. Apart from the work you're doing, we've ordered a potholing truck. It's going to arrive in St. Lucia very shortly. So we're going to get improvement in the roads, at least potholing, the new potholing truck that we've ordered, that will be here shortly. So that should make you happy. Now, Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition begins his answer to the VAT by saying that a canine was murdered. Mr. Speaker, the acting deputy, right now the Assistant Commissioner of Police, has made a statement of regret, a statement of concern, a statement of saying that there's going to be a full investigation in the untimely death of the Kenyan, Mr. Speaker. But I want to ask one question. One question. And if I'm wrong, I will yield. Is it the first time that happened in St. Lucia?
Yeah.
It's a question.
That's the Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that is the problem with the leader of the opposition. When I say anything he has accused us of, he's done worse. Answer that question, Mr. Speaker. So he goes along and he says that the policemen have been doing many, many strange things. Not all, but Mr. Speaker, he never condemned a member of his party, a member of the police force, when he was on Facebook threatening the Prime Minister. He never condemned it, Mr. Speaker. He never condemned it, Mr. Speaker, when a member of the police force, was on Facebook saying the most outrageous things. And when disciplinary action was taken because the staff orders had been disobeyed, Mr. Speaker, his party wanted to take the Commissioner of Police to court. He won't say that, but he speak about bad behavior of policemen. Mr. Speaker, further. What? I won't even answer you because you're making things so much you even know what you're making up. you just say things. Mr. Speaker, there was a letter written to the Commissioner of Police by a lawyer well known to the leader of the opposition, threatening to take legal action if there was not a withdrawal of a transfer order to a policeman.
The lawyer did.
How's that mean? How's that taking an individual report? Really? You're so thin-skinned?
But you don't want to brought it up. You don't want to brought it up. You don't want to brought it up.
My detail is taken away from you. You don't even call me. My detail.
What do you want me to call you for?
And up until now, there's no investigation.
Into what?
No investigation.
That's right.
You get a supervisor filing a complaint. Supervisor doesn't even talk to him. You don't even investigate the matter.
Mr. Speaker.
Position's detail is taken away from him.
Mr. Speaker.
John. And up to now, no charges. Up to now, no investigation. Nothing. And you're giving him a promotion? What is that all about? So what did he do that was so wrong that he deserved to get a promotion?
I have never given any one person promotion, so you know what you say. I have never given any policeman promotion. So what you talk about? You see, evil speaks what evil does. You are the one who interfere in the police force. You are the one. You and your former minister who interferes directly in the police force. You're the one who asked the people to be transferred. Who asked the people to be... You are the one, Mr. Speaker. No, you are the one. You are the one who interferes directly in the police force. You, not me. You, yes.
You interfere.
You. That's why you where you are. That's why I move your detail. I don't know your detail.
You didn't know international.
I don't know your detail. I do not know your detail. I don't know your detail. I don't know your detail. I'm not like you. I don't get involved in these things. Well, I don't know your detail. You're the Chloe. You always this morning.
Members.
This afternoon, they cut you to not
members.
speak the truth. That's what you always do. I don't know your detail is.
Member of Castries East, let me.
The best person in the world.
Member of Castries East, let me just interject here.
About your detail.
Just to say.
I know about your detail.
But your minister said so.
He said, I know about your detail. He said, I know about your detail. That I know about your detail.
My detail should be moved.
I knew that.
But he's in your ministry.
And what about, why don't answer for when your people talk about Nigeria?
What about him? What did I say about Nigeria?
Members.
What about Nigeria? If I said anything on
Minister of Finance, can you proceed?
anything? One thing?
Mr. Speaker, the member for
Don't just say crazy.
Miku South, Mr. Speaker, comes here and speaks about suspension of visa, Mr. Speaker. That never happened. He cannot show me one letter that was written by any international body about St. Lucia's CIP program. Let me tell you what we've been doing since you started it. Let me tell you what we've been doing since, Mr. Speaker. What we've been doing since is we've signed an MOU. What we've been doing since is we are actively involved in a regional regulatory committee. What we've done since is we have active discussions with the US and the Europeans on framing a regional CIP law. What we've done since is that we have looked at ways and means of having uniform legislation so that the regulation of the CIP can be uniform for all islands of the region. That is what we've done, that's what we've done, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the leader of the nation, again, living his own illusion. He asks what we've been doing. When you tell him what we're doing, he's gone to another level. He just asks what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the point, you're not going to get me off track. You'll never get me off track.
Member for Mico South, if you want to raise a point of order,
no, he just wants, you see,
please do that.
What he wants
okay.
is that he believes I'll lose
so,
but I smart than him.
The idea of asking questions off the record is impermissible. If you wish to make an interjection, do so by putting on your lights. Otherwise, hold your peace.
So, Mr. Speaker, it has proven again today that he misled the House when he spoke about suspension of visas. Again proven for the whole world to see that he was misleading the House. The same way he's misleading the House every day about CIP. Every day, Mr. Speaker. He is the one who creates all the stories. He is the one who encourages people to create the stories, Mr. Speaker. He is the one who is threatened and who made a big hue and cry about the RICO case. He's the one. And when he does that, he plays, I do not know. He's the one who makes all the statements. He's the one who said about saying Lucia will lose his correspondent banking. And the people cheered in New York. You mean to tell me a leader of the opposition who wants to be prime minister can speak about the country losing its correspondent banking? You think that is something that should be said, Mr. Speaker? But he comes here and he pretends that never happened. He never said so. Then he goes to on the Roseau Dam. Roseau Dam. And he says the Roseau Dam was supposed to be in 3 stages and they only did 1 stage. I don't think you remember what you're saying here. I don't remember what you said. I don't think. 3 levels, all right, stages level, right. And they only did 1 level. Never happened. Never happened. There is a full report on the Roseau Dam. A full report on Roseau Dam. The World Bank also did a report on the desilting of the Roseau Dam. So apart from the report done locally, the World Bank earlier this year had a report on the desilting of the Roseau Dam. And the World Bank agreed. They agreed, Mr. Speaker, that a damming report on the dam. And the report said that from the local report said that only 8% of the silt had been removed from the dam after we had spent $59 million.
Mr. Speaker, if the member is going to make quotes from a document, I would love to have a report of the House, Mr. Speaker. He's making reference to a World Bank report I have not seen. I would love to get a copy of the report, Mr. Speaker. And that's his obligation to do so.
He is not quoted from the World Bank report.
Making reference to the report.
Mr. Speaker, you don't know what we'll have? We'll have a resolution in Parliament about the desilting of the Roseau Dam. That's okay. And at that point, he'll have all the information he wants.
He will be then, when the resolution comes.
What's the big deal? You want a quote from the report. A while ago you said, you need to see everything. I need to see everything. Let me see it. You want the quote of it?
you must understand that the people of St. Lucia, if they wanted you to be prime minister, they would have elected you. That's the fact. That's a fact.
But I'm here.
But you here?
I'm here.
You won't be a long time again.
You're going to make a decision for me.
Bradley will become leader.
So, Mr. Speaker, so we get to the, he is the one who brought up the Rosa Dam. He's the one who brought it up. He's the one who made his accusations about the Rosa Dam. He's the one, but he knows very well what are the facts surrounding the Rosa Dam. So when the time comes, the Rosa Dam will be fully ventilated because there are things that have to be said and there are facts surrounding the Rosa Dam, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we've dealt with the Rosa Dam. Then he speaks about crime. He says, the leader of the opposition says that crime is worse under us than it was under him or them. But let's get back to water. He says water has never been so bad. Mr. Speaker, when the member for Beaufort South was Prime Minister, we understood the processes and the problems involved at Wasco. We tried our best to improve Wasco systematically. When they came into government, they squashed all of it. They squashed all of it, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, they squashed all of it. But Wasco, we on the verge, beginning to make the changes, Mr. Speaker, to privatize it, to make it better, to corporate. Yes, exactly, Mr. Speaker. But they didn't. But now Wasco has been the worst. You know, Mr. Speaker. But this government, again, we are working to improve Wasco. Tangible things that we are doing. We are investing in Wasco $1.2 million every month to improve services, whilst we see about the biggest problem, which is the erosion of the water line from the Seabirds plant to the north of the country. We are working on that, and soon we have secured a loan from the CDB, and soon from now, we're going to be beginning work to improve that water line. But in the meantime, Mr. Speaker, the people of St. Lucia are encouraged to harvest their own water, because there's going to be a worldwide shortage of water as is predicted because of climate change. So what I want to tell the people of St. Lucia, begin to invest in water harvesting and water storage, because that is going to be a problem that the people of the world will have to face very shortly, Mr. Speaker, and St. Lucia will be no exception because of what is happening as far as climate change is concerned. Then, Mr. Speaker, he speaks about crime. But only last week, the statistics came out for homicides. And I made the point that there are one homicide is too much. I've made that point consistently and persistently. But the statistics showed that there have been a reduction in homicides for the coming year for this year as compared to last year. These are statistic facts which I think are trending in the right direction, but I believe that the homicide rate in the country is too high, Mr. Speaker. It's too high, and we have to take steps to change it. But what have we done to stem or to control crime in this country? Look at the measures we have taken and compare these measures to him when he was Prime Minister. Look at the measures you've taken, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Grosile is the largest district in the country. They left the Grosile police station in a complete mess. I visited there and I said to the Grosile police, I apologize for the conditions in which he left them. He left them there. The conditions where he put the Grosile policemen. I apologize to them. And you're talking about what you did for crime. The conditions you left the Grosile police to work in. You think they could function? Here's what we've done. For Grosile alone, here's what we've done. We have housed the police in Grosile at the pastoral center. We have moved them to improved working conditions at the Grosile Human Resource Development Center. We've increased the number of vehicles, and we are building for them a modern, northern complex to house them in proper circumstances. That's Grosile alone. That's Grosile alone. And you speak about crime. When you left the policemen in Grosile in these conditions, you weren't thinking about crime? You weren't thinking about crime? Now let's look at what you've done for policemen generally. You fought. You left them. When you moved them from the building that they were, you put them somewhere else, and they were complaining persistently and consistently. You did nothing about it. You did nothing about it. We had to refurbish the Viewfort Police Headquarters at a cost of over $4 million and putting everything in there new. And now the police have moved to their new headquarters, and we expect them to function better. Let's talk about the police still, Mr. Speaker. Let's talk about the police still. You destroyed the custody suites, and you said the reason why you destroyed it is because the policemen told you that they had space to hold prisoners that they arrested. No one, same things like St. Jude, you can see no record where any policeman said so. When you destroyed the custody suites, there were policemen still working there. You went on a Sunday and you destroyed it. I wouldn't even say who destroyed it, who was the supervisor. Who was the supervisor in the destroying of the custody suites? Right now, we built, reconstructed a new custody suites using an existing building, Mr. Speaker. You said that your plan was to have an underground prison, that you'd pass prisoners underground and store them underground. You'd have passed the prisoners underground and store them in an underground prison. That's what you came and said, you know. How you said there? You said that we thinking back because your plan was to have an underground prison. Now, the police will tell you that one of the best things that have happened to them is that they have a custody suites now where they can arrest people, they can detain them for questioning, and they can hold them while they continue investigation. But you will not admit that. You will not admit that you caused mayhem when you destroyed the custody suites and when the police could not detain people for questioning or could not hold them under suspicion when they wanted to because there was no space to put them. They had to collect people and drop them in ancillary, calling, hey, you have space here, Chief? No, no space. Marchand, poor Marchand. You have space there? No, Marchand full. Then, Dr. Babano, you have space there? No, Babano full. Move them all over the place. So the police did not have a central place where they could detain somebody and question them so that they could investigate the crime properly. Now, they have that, Mr. Speaker. These are the steps to be taken. We are taking to deter crime. These are some of the steps to take, Mr. Speaker. Further, police, we have recruited, and now they are working, 79 new police officers who are on the job now. Over 60 rangers to help in the tourism aspect of law and order to ensure that the beaches, etc., are properly patrolled. Something you disbanded. You disbanded the rangers and the hostesses. You disbanded it. We have reinstated it. And they are completing their training, and they will be fully equipped to help if we can reduce the incidence of crime against visitors. But further, on Monday next week, we are going to be starting the recruitment of another 80 police officers for the Lucia Police Force. More police officers. The last time there was a recruitment, Mr. Speaker, is when Dr. Kenny Anthony was parliamentary rep, was Prime Minister. So, yes, tell me the last time you tell me, and again, tell me if I'm even talking about that. So, Mr. Speaker, we now have plus training for policemen at Slasper and training for bodily people, Mr. Speaker. The fight and the city police. And further, Mr. Speaker, talking about security, the St. Lucia Fire Service, Mr. Speaker, look at the investment we have done in the fire service. And again, new recruitment in the fire service happened earlier this year, and we put to work new fire officers, Mr. Speaker. Again, Mr. Speaker, what we are doing as far as crime, emergency services are concerned, Mr. Speaker. And further, Mr. Speaker, Bordelais, new officers been recruited in Bordelais, and we have another set going on training in July, next Monday, Mr. Speaker. So the steps, talking about giving the police equipment and giving them the resources to do their jobs, Mr. Speaker. I've made the point before, and it's going to happen. Every police officer in this country will be fitted with a bulletproof vest to do their work, Mr. Speaker. Every police officer. The police complained for ages about the belts that they use. The belt was uncomfortable. We've imported belts, new belts for every police officer. Yes, we imported belts for new police officers. So, Mr. Speaker, we have imported belts, standard operating belts, Mr. Speaker, for all police officers, Mr. Speaker. Now, let us get, so we've dealt with his crime. Then he's talking about, we've dealt with crime, we've dealt with his CIP, we've dealt with his roads, we dealt with the desilting of the dam, we've dealt with water. Let's get to sports. Let's get to sports. Mr. Speaker, you think St. Lucia's performance in sports is coincidental? Do you think that the strides and the successes you have done this way, and the minister has detailed it, I will not go into detail it, because he's there all the time, is coincidental? He speaks about $33 million, he says, and here's what he uses for his $33 million. Putting artificial turf on Deriso, artificial turf on Soufre, and where again? And the person and then big deal, big price. Then he said, Mr. Speaker, you want to compare that. Let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, what has happened to sports facilities in this country since our party has been in power. Because, Mr. Speaker, it's very important that the people of St. Lucia hear these things. Look, here are the facilities that we have dealt with, Mr. Speaker. Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, Mindu Philip Park, Grosile playing field. In fact, Grosile mini stadium, Mr. Speaker. Go and see for yourself. Mindu Philip Park, Darren Sammy Grounds, Mr. Speaker. Mindu Philip Park, Marshall Grounds, Anthony Multipurpose Court, Canry's Multipurpose Court, Jack Mel Multipurpose Court, Sub Playing Field, Kenneth King Multipurpose Complex, Debarra Playing Field, Auger Playing Field, Laclay Playing Field, Pierre Playing Field, Jack Mel Playing Field, Moshi Playing Field, Sub Playing Field, Denry Playing Field, Larry Suits Playing Field, Vanad Multipurpose Court, Denry Playing Field, Bocage Multipurpose Court, Anchipo Multipurpose Court, Leon Hess Playing Field, Labon Playing Field, Anchipo Multipurpose Court, Mr. Speaker, Cicero Multipurpose Court, Lights in Grand Riviere. That is a small. We're not talking about the work that has been done and is going to be done on the Philip Master grounds in Vieux-Fort. You want to compare that? Let's compare. Because you're going in the business of comparison. Let's compare, Mr. Speaker. Let's compare. Then he speaks about health. And he says that the American Dental Association has said that health has never been worse in this country. But I can assure you, no member of this government has ever accused any nurse of giving people bad injections. And you associated yourself with that because you never condemned it. So that means you agree that. And now you have the welfare of nurses so much. Nurses. Let me tell you what we've done for doctors. There were doctors that you put on contract, that you had them every 2 years worrying whether their job is secure. You know what he did? We confirmed all of them. We gave them full-time employment. And you know what we did also? Because of the shortage of nurses. Nurses are leaving. Nurses not only live in St. Lucia, generally in Barbados, you have to have Ghanaian nurses from Ghana and from Africa. You know what we did for nurses? To keep them, we are putting together a nursing retention program. And part of that nursing retention program is we are paying the fees for young people who want to study nursing in this country. And so now, and you talk about healthcare, Mr. Speaker. Look at the physical. Look at the work we've done in the physical structures as far as healthcare is concerned. I don't forgot that we refurbished the Dairy Show Health Center that you left. In a state.
Really in a state.
Yes, it was in a state.
Fully renovated before.
He said Dairy Show was fully renovated.
Fully renovated. That is not true. Come on. That's not true. Come on. New generator, new order tanks, fully air conditioned, fully renovated. You think renaming something makes it good? No. That's all about it. Don't just rename it. Yeah, right. Nothing. Who put up the fence? Who put in the air conditioning system? Who put in the generator?
The Dairy Show Health Center, Mr. Speaker, we had to renovate it, Mr. We had to rehabilitate the Dairy Show Health Center that left in his constituency, and he was Prime Minister. The Larry Seuss Wellness Center, we rebuilt it. We rebuilt the Larry Seuss Wellness Center, Mr. Speaker. Even the Viewfort Health Wellness Center did some work in there, Mr. Speaker. And right now, as we speak, work is going on in 2 wellness centers in Babono. And the Grocery Polyclinic, we're extending the Grocery Polyclinic as we speak. And let's talk about St. Jude. Because the audacity of the leader of the opposition, when things are clear, he says they're not clear. Because the truth is what you perceive it to be. Mr. Speaker, take a look back in your memory and tell me, the box in July 2021, have a look at the box and tell me whether you think that could ever be a hospital in 6 months. Just think about it. You think what existed in 2021 could ever be a hospital in 6 months? But what he's not telling you is the buildings that they put there could not work if the buildings in the original structures were not used. He'll never tell you that. So they change all the time. They say they'll have the first thing was you'll have a modern hospital complex. Then they changed to say they'd have a pay hospital downstairs, they would have a free hospital upstairs, and a pay hospital for tourists upstairs. Changed all kinds of permutations. There is nowhere you can find anything written that says the boxes have been completed in 6 months.
You said 18 months.
I never said so. You can never put me on record as saying anything or any completion date. You have never heard me say. You've never heard me say. I have never given any completion date for St. Jude Hospital. Never. And I'll tell you, what I will tell you is where St. Jude Hospital is now is not where you left it. And what I can tell you further, that any blind man can see. And only people like you who are biased and who want to believe your own misinformation will tell me that what exists there now can be compared to what was there when we left in September, when you left in July 2021. And further, no one can tell me that we signed a direct award that gave 1% interest for what? Per day? Per day. 1% interest on a direct award. On $70 million. That's what you left us. And you know the loan for the St. Jude Hospital, you don't know what's the interest rate? Less than 1%. You understand? So, Mr. Speaker, so even in terms of St. Jude Hospital, the leader of the opposition is delusional, and he's trying to fool himself, trying to tell people what they're seeing is not true. So anytime you've caught him, he diverts and goes to another point. You worried about cost? You understand? Who is, Mr. Speaker? That is a man who was building the largest infrastructure project in the country without a bill of quantities. He is the guy who was building the largest infrastructure project in the country on bill as you go. Rough order of management and bill as you go. A blank check. He's the one, a blank check, Mr. Speaker. He's the blank check, Mr. Speaker. That is the man. Anytime this gentleman is there, he never admits, and that is why he blames, the people of St. Lucia for putting him out of government. That's why he blames them, you know. He blames the people of St. Lucia. Yeah, he blames them. It's not he that was wrong, it's the people of St. Lucia were wrong by putting him out of government. Not he, the people. But we believe in the people of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker. We believe in the people of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker. And that's what we always do. We believe in people.
Member for Castries, member for Mico South, I'll remind you again, if you wish to put questions, there's a process under Standing Orders 14 and 16. Follow these, please.
So, Mr. Speaker,
member for Castries Central.
We want, Mr. Speaker, to deal now with the crux of the matter, the VAT, the value added tax resolution that we passed in Parliament today, Mr. Speaker. He says that came too late, too little too late. He has forgotten the steps that we took before we got there. The steps that we took to reduce the burden of inflation, which was highest when we were in government. The highest, Mr. Speaker, with the steps, the incremental steps that we took, Mr. Speaker, because he left us the worst performing economy in the OECS and the Caribbean after COVID. He left us, and the records are clear, he left the worst performing economy in the world. 7th worst economy. That's what he left us because of his policies, Mr. Speaker. The government had no savings after COVID. In July, Mr. Speaker, if you want to get some facts, Mr. Speaker, because you know, we've been running the country and not telling the facts. In July 2021, when I got the treasury of this country, let me tell you how much money it had. Yes, only COVID, only St. Lucia. In July 2021, when he left the economy of St. Lucia for us to manage, let me tell you how much money it had. In July 2021. Mr. Speaker, it is time, you know. So what he will do is on Sunday, they will go and they'll blaspheme, and they will blaspheme, and they will say all the things.
Member for Castries, you have 15 minutes left.
All right, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, cash balances, 2021. Mr. Speaker, In May 2021, the government had available funding of $82 million. That's the cash we had in bank. In June 2021, we had $77 million in bank. In July 2021, we had $38 million in bank. That's the cash we had, Mr. Speaker. In August, we had $53 million in the bank. That's what we had. That's what we had, Mr. Speaker. That's what we had. That's what we had, Mr. Speaker. So that is, I don't know where, I know that is a fact. And I know also that we have more now than we had in that time. That's a fact. Oh, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, the leader of the opposition pretends that COVID only hits Lucia. He pretends. We came to this honorable house on that side, and we supported him in all the measures that he took as far as COVID is concerned. We supported him, Mr. Speaker. He had no savings. He had no savings during COVID. He had to go to the NIC to get money for COVID after he borrowed over $300 million. That is the economy that he left us, because when COVID struck, the economy was in a tailspin. You had no savings.
Member from Mico South.
Again, the member from Castries East is completely misleading the House, Mr. Speaker. There was lots of savings in 2019. The fact is that when COVID hit and the country got shut down in April, Mr. Speaker, and I've repeated to say it, the revenue of the government went from $110 million to $55 million. The monies that we were able to borrow from the World Bank and from the IMF and from the CDB went to make up for the money, the shortfall. No, but the member said there was no cash.
Member from Mico South.
Yes, member. Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker.
You're editorializing something that is not responding to what he said. You said he's misleading. He made a statement that in May there was 82 million.
2021, I said that.
21, yes. In May there was 82 million. In June there was 75 million. In July there was 36 million. What does that have to do with April of 2022, of April of 2019?
Mr. Speaker, I stood on a point of order, not on what he said there. What I put out was that we mismanaged the economy, okay? And the country was in a tailspin in 2019.
And he supported it with the figures he gave.
No, but he's talking about, you're telling me it's in a tailspin in 2019 and you're giving us revenue numbers all the way in 2022? 2021? 2019,
no. The tailspin comment was in relation to suggest to you that contrary to your statement that COVID caused the downturn, that the economy was already in a downturn prior to COVID. That's all his comment about 2019 was.
Then if we want to be fair, Mr. Speaker, give us what the balances were in 2019 and show where the country was in a tailspin. The country was not in a tailspin. If you look at your own statistics, 2019 was a record year of tourism arrivals.
Member from Mico South,
Mr. Speaker.
You cannot tell a member what statistics to use in presenting his case. If you want to...
Mr. Speaker, I have no issue with what the member said about 2022. I'm saying he cannot use those numbers and without then showing the comparative numbers in 2019 and say the country was in a tailspin in 2019. That is categorically a lie. And I'm also saying that when the member says that we use the money, we had to borrow money because the revenue dropped from $110 million to $55 million because the country was
Member
shut,
from Mico
Mr.
South.
Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Please take your seat. Member for Castries.
Mr. Speaker.
Please take your seat.
No, is he not going to withdraw the statement? Are you going to allow that statement, Mr. Speaker?
Absolutely. I don't see anything that he has said there that requires a withdrawal.
Wow, Mr. Speaker. So a member could make reference to something in 2021 and draw it back to 2019 and have no statistics of 2019 and make such a wild allegation that it was Yes,
the finance minister, the member for Labrie, and the member for Castries South all quoted the economic review to show what the quarterly figures were in 2019.
Mr. Speaker, I'm still waiting for those quarterly figures. I looked at it. There's nothing in there that shows any quarterly figures. What, in fact, the Social and Economic Review shows, Mr. Speaker, it shows that in 2019, we had a record number of arrivals.
Finance Minister, can you proceed?
And the fact is that when they talk about that the economy contracted
Member from Miku South,
2020. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Please take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, you cannot
disrespect me,
no,
you cannot tell me what I can or cannot do. I am ruling on the standing orders, and I'm asking you to take your seat.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm asking you to opine on this fairly.
I am asking you for the final time to take your seat on this matter. You have made your point. I've made a ruling that your point is not pertinent to the point. Well, that's fine.
You're there for that ruling.
That's fine.
I'm just saying to you, if the member
you have said you don't agree, that is fine. Please take your seat. I'm not going to ask you again. Member for Finance Minister, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, there's no need for all that excitement, Mr. Speaker. COVID hit the entire world. In 2019, when COVID hit, the economy in St. Lucia had no savings, so the government had to borrow from the NIC to pay, and they had to borrow in large amounts. And the ECCB statistics will show that St. Lucia was the largest borrowing country after COVID.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. The members leading the House, the government never borrowed any money from NIC.
I didn't say borrow, I said the government used money from NIC to pay. They used it.
Mr. Speaker, the NIC board made a decision that it was going to distribute some of its money of people who've been making contributions from NIC. There's nowhere that the government borrowed the money, Mr. Speaker.
He didn't say you borrowed the money.
He did. That's what exactly he said.
He said used.
We borrowed money from the IMF and from NIC.
I said IMF there? You will be the IMF now?
World Bank? Was it World Bank?
Did you
was it CDB? We borrowed no money from NIC, Mr. Speaker. None.
Finance Minister, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, the government used money from the NIC because they had no savings to pay to use during COVID. They had no savings. The government had no savings in 2019. The economy of St. Lucia borrowed the largest borrow after COVID in the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, in the currency movement, in the currency union. St. Lucia borrowed the most after COVID because the government had no savings. They borrowed the most. St. Lucia borrowed the most after COVID from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank because the government had no savings. I'm talking about, thank you, but I'm talking about after COVID, Mr. Speaker. Because COVID did not only hit us, COVID hit the whole world, Mr. Speaker. The whole world was affected by COVID. And we came to this honorable house and we supported him in the moves he took. Some of them, even though we didn't disagree, we said for the benefit of the country and for the benefit of the fact that COVID affected everybody, we will support it. And you know what he did? In the distribution of food, they did not give any food to the members of the opposition. They gave it to the people who ran against us. Even there, they played politics. They did not give anything. They never called any of the elected parliamentarians in the opposition and give them not one. No, Minister, you got hampers? Did they ever call us and give us hampers for them? Minister of Subclasses?
They gave it to the disaster man.
But not to you.
Not to me. I wasn't in.
They did not give me any hampers. I got no hampers. You gave people who had beaten elections.
You have 5 minutes left.
That's what you did. You gave people who had beaten elections. You see, any time, but I didn't beat them. I didn't beat the person. Didn't I win my seat? What? But you always say, Mr. Speaker, further, Mr. Speaker, the steps that we took, I want some 15 minutes time. The steps that we took, Mr. Speaker, to reduce the cost of living, the steps we took to reduce the cost of living, Mr. Speaker. When we came into government in 2021, I have made the point of how much cash there was in the system. Soon after that, we were hit by the war. We were hit by supply chain issues, which also affected the entire world. So St. Lucia wasn't isolated, but they were in opposition at that time. They never for one moment did like what we did and supported some of the measures that we took to alleviate that situation that caused by the crisis of 2022 and moving forward. The world was in a crisis too. The crisis was only, and further, the COVID, the Delta crisis, the surge in Delta happened when we were in government in 2021. They've forgotten that. I think they are the only ones who dealt with COVID. And in August 2021, and they were predicting that there would have been dead people in the corridors of the hospital. So don't come and have selective memory loss. You are the only one that COVID affected. COVID affected us just as, if not worse, because we had to deal with the Delta variant. That's what we had to deal with. When we came in, we found that patients at the respiratory hospital were in a state. Some people were losing their brain. A man even committed suicide, Mr. Speaker. You know what we did? Immediately, the minister moved to improve, to give these people some worth, Mr. Speaker. Give them some worth. We did that immediately. These are the things that we did for COVID. So COVID did not only affect your government, it affected our government too. And we're not rejoicing about COVID. We assisted you. We told our people that COVID was something that was general and we shouldn't play no politics with it, Mr. Speaker. You used to laugh at us, laugh at me when I wore my mask. You understand? So, Mr. Speaker, don't have this selective memory loss and play as if you are a saint that come from heaven. So let's get back to the measures for the VAT, Mr. Speaker. So we took a series of steps to alleviate the cost. The first step we did is we increased the disposable income of people. People who got less than $24,000 a year, they paid no taxes. That would give them a little support in the disposable income so that it could help to fight the increase in prices. That's the first thing we did. What we did, Mr. Speaker, also, we increased pensions. You never saw it fit when you were using the NIC money. You never saw it fit to say to the pensioners that the $250 insurance dollars some of them were getting was not enough. You do not have the empathy that during COVID that the pensioners getting $200 would have been more heavily affected by other people. You didn't have the empathy for that. We are the ones who said that after we spoke to the NIC, we said that $200 for people increase it to $500. And you don't understand.
And you have 1 minute left.
You don't understand, Mr. Speaker, what it means for
freedom of government business.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to invoke Standing Order 3210 to allow the honourable member an extra 20 minutes to complete his presentation.
Honourable members, the question is that Standing Order 3210 be invoked to allow the Finance Minister an additional 20 minutes in which to complete his presentation. I now move the question, and now put the question. As many of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Leave is granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that's the arrogance and the contempt that this member has for the people of St. Lucia and for this Parliament. You can imagine if he ever becomes Prime Minister again. Look at the contempt. Look at the disrespect. I am responding to accusations that you made. You made it. I'm responding to the fact that we asked you to bring documentary proof of something you're saying and you could not bring it, but you're walking out. That is the scorn and the contempt and the arrogance, Mr. Speaker. That's the disrespect. So, Mr. Speaker, we getting back to things we did to alleviate the cost of living, Mr. Speaker. I spoke about the pensions. And we also increased NIC pensions with the support and the consent. The NIC increased the pensions even after they'd had the minimum pension of $500, Mr. Speaker. Then, government pensioners, some of them used to get less than $700 a month for the pensions. Old teachers, policemen, civil servants who had been in the service and worked all their lives used to get less than $700 in pensions. We had a minimum pension of $750, Mr. Speaker, for pensioners to alleviate the cost of living situation. We also gave every pensioner, we've done it twice, a $500 one-off payment in the month of November to assist them, Mr. Speaker, because we understand the plight. That's how we are. We understand the plight of the marginalized in this country. And pensioners were one of the most marginalized groups that were forgotten. We also said that moving forward, any increase given to pensioners, to civil servants, the commensurate increase will be given to pensioners, Mr. Speaker, moving forward. Mr. Speaker, so that's the step we took as far as pensioners is concerned, Mr. Speaker. Moving forward again, as far as the cost of living, we subsidize flour, sugar, and rice to the tune of $10 million. And the leader of the opposition is on record as saying that is not a good policy. But his argument is that when you subsidize it, everybody benefits. Everybody benefits. Sometimes you have the accent changing. Everybody benefits. You understand? That's what he said. Not understanding a basic concept. And I don't profess to be anything. I'm just a politician who wants to see the welfare of the people of St. Lucia get better. That's all I am. He doesn't understand that when the price of these basic goods increase, the lower income people have difficulty in purchasing it. These are the only set of goods that when there is a price increase, Mr. Speaker, the supply also increases. I want to make it clear. The consumption patterns of these goods for lower income people are grossly affected when their price increases. But for other income people, it doesn't affect them because they do not use these basic goods. They have climbed to another level of goods, so the basic goods, when the price increases, doesn't affect them. So that's where the subsidies come in. The subsidies come in to the lower income people who have to spend more money when the price of these goods go up. The middle class people, Mr. Speaker, do not get affected as much as the lower income people who spend the majority of their income on buying these products, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, that's not something he can understand. He can't understand that, Mr. Speaker, because it's only now we start playing marbles. So he can't understand what that means. Let me tell you what that means. You don't understand it. Let me tell you what that means. When a poor person is getting $50 a day, that $50 a day, they have to spend, and don't hold me on these figures, because if you want me these figures, I understand your misinformation already. So I will be careful. I wouldn't even say figures, because you will go out there, you'll misquote me, you're in the circus, you'll misquote me, and say I said what I didn't say. So I'm not going to use any figures, because I know your misinformation tactics. You come straight from the straight from the book of the Ministry of Truth. All your tactics, that's where it come from. All your tactics, the Ministry of Truth. Just say whatever you want. A lower income person, when the price of these basic goods go up, they have to spend more of their income to buy it. So when you subsidize it, you stabilize it a bit for them. Because most of their income goes in buying these goods. They are called given goods. So when we subsidize it, they get, the people at that level, they get more benefits from it than somebody who's at a higher income. That's what I meant, Mr. Speaker. And
same thing the World Bank and IMF and CDB, everybody's been telling us. We have to find a better nobody else. You're going to have to get there one day, brothers. All of us are going to get there one day.
Mr. Speaker,
Just deal with it what it is.
further, Mr. Speaker, we have also moved to alleviate the cost of living, Mr. Speaker, in many other ways, Mr. Speaker, many other ways. When we pay utility fees for children going to school, Mr. Speaker, we have taken from working mothers that expense of the utility fees. We've taken that and we've given them more disposable income, Mr. Speaker. When we say to working mothers that we subsidize GCE in that we pay for 2 and now for 4 subjects, they can use that income to improve the quality of life. CXC, yes. We are saying we can use it, Mr. Speaker. When we give civil servants a little bonus at Christmas, we are saying that's to help you in the increased cost of living. And when we give, and Mr. Speaker, I heard a very curious mix-up about payment of back pay. And I'm sorry that the member for Vivat Solve did not clarify that, because I'm sure at some point he'll clarify it. I'm sure he'll clarify, Mr. Speaker, because what I heard there is a mix-up story that's so mixed up. I don't know if we can untangle it, Mr. Speaker. What I know is we gave civil servants for the 6 years one of the highest pay increases ever given to public servants in this country, 13% over a 6-year period. And I also know we paid them the back pay when it was due. We paid them the back pay tax-free. That's a fact, Mr. Speaker, and that was done to help them to alleviate the cost of living, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we are, when it's due, when we promise them, that's what I mean. Not like you, that you couldn't pay it. We also, Mr. Speaker, we also said to the public servants that we appreciate the fact of what you're doing. And we never said to them, let the government do its work. It is not your job to tell the government what to do. We never said so to them. We never treated them with the scorn and the contempt that you treated them. You did that. You're on record. You're on record. You see, Mr. Speaker, even though you catch the leader of the opposition on record, I know somebody called me and told me and asked me whether I'll ever debate the leader of the opposition. Let me tell you why, Mr. Speaker. I'll never debate the leader of the opposition. I can never debate a man who says whatever he wants.
Lies.
The only way I can debate him is if I'm assured that there is a fact checker and everything he says, we check it. Both ways. I will put myself, if there's going to be a fact checker, because nothing the leader of the opposition says is 100% true. There always is a modification. And when you catch him in saying, like you caught him this today was a clear example. I mean, Mr. Speaker, Providence is something else, you know. You know when they were attacking the Nigerian president's visit, President Modi went to Trinidad and they closed almost the entire country for him and they gave him the highest award. You know what they did? What they said. And his party said it. His party said it. We never closed the airport. The airport was suspended for an hour or two. The airport was never closed. Again, but a while ago you said nothing about Nigerian visit. You see how a while ago he said, here's what he's saying now. We really closed the airport. You heard him? Further, Mr. Speaker. Providence, Mr. Speaker. Now you know what they said? They said it's a false equivalence. Two heads of state, one the most populous nation in the world, and black nation in the world, another one the most populous Indian nation in the world, visited two CARICOM countries. The governments welcome them. The one here criticizes it. The one here denigrates it. The one here does all kinds of things. The leader of the opposition says nothing to support or to condemn.
Member from Mico South.
Mr. Speaker, the member again misled the House. I mean, clearly in him saying that the airport was temporarily suspended, I mean, the notice from SASPA says closed. And all I said was...
For how many hours?
For 2 hours.
Exactly.
But it's closed. Right. They didn't do that in Trinidad. What they did in Trinidad is they let school out early, or they canceled school for that day to reduce the traffic. And again, I would love for the government to read what the press statement was from my party on the visit of the Nigerian president. Okay? And stop associating what the public's opinion was. That's the public's opinion. And they're entitled to that opinion. But the United Workers' Party put out a press statement, and it never said any of those things that were being associated.
Who is United Bank?
Who's United Bank?
You.
Who's Starstruck?
But what they ask you,
Who's United Bank? Who's United Bank?
Who's Starstruck?
Finance Minister.
Anything against the Nigerian president?
You see, Mr. Speaker, you know, I'm in a hurry for the next elections. You know why I'm in a hurry? Because finally, the people of St. Lucia will have their say in saying what they think about the leader of the opposition and what they think about him. They'll be able to compare what he did when he was in government. They'll be able to compare what he said when he was in government. They'll be able to compare how he treated people when he was in government, and be able to compare it to how the Labour Party is doing and what we did when we were in government. Yeah. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker. So all this back and forth, we can balance, Mr. Speaker. All this back and forth, all these facts that are verifiable, apart from all the innuendo, that's what in his mind, what he thinks, that will be balanced by fact, Mr. Speaker. I really want that day to come. Because, Mr. Speaker, we need to have this country on the path of truth, Mr. Speaker. Because you can't have a guy who wants to be Prime Minister of the country, and everything he says, you can't take his word for it. Today is an example. Big example today for the world to see. He stood for everybody to see. And he said that we'd been denied our Schengen visas. I want him to disprove he said so. So, Mr. Speaker, the VAT amendment, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that the public of St. Lucia will benefit from the zero-rated items that will put what into play by that amendment, Mr. Speaker. He spoke about customs duties. I read, Mr. Speaker, I read the goods for which we had the rate of duty to 0%. I read it before. Cheddar cheese, potatoes, onions, peas, chickpeas, etc. Rate of duty is 0%. He said I didn't do it. And I also said that there has to be, I had to say that there was derogation. That's again, Mr. Speaker, he's forgetting again. We removed the 6% service charge on control items for a long time. Minister of Commerce, what year we removed? What year did we remove the price control on products? What year? What year did we remove the service charge on goods that were price controlled? 2023, end of 23, going into 24. Yes, we did it. So, I mean, so Mr. Speaker, now you think you can debate with some boy like that? So, Mr. Speaker, that is just the beginning, Mr. Speaker. That's just the beginning of the steps we've taken to lessen the impact of imported inflation on the people of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker. And further, the Minister of Agriculture will have some very interesting revelations to make as far as agriculture is concerned, Mr. Speaker. And you see how we are merging and creating synergies between agriculture, Mr. Speaker, tourism and agriculture, and food security, Mr. Speaker. And back on food security, Mr. Speaker, when we try to tell the public of St. Lucia that they should eat more local produce, that they should try to consume more of what we grow, again, they made an entire fuss of that, denigrating the people of St. Lucia, denigrating the bananas, denigrating it, Mr. Speaker, because they thought they would gain political by doing that, Mr. Speaker. I want to announce to you, Mr. Speaker, that the Ministry of Education is going to have an initiative where we can give every child in St. Lucia a banana a day, Mr. Speaker. That would help the farmers and it would help the nutritional content for the children in this country. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank members for the support. I thank the member for Chozel, Mr. Speaker, although he had to play the tune sometimes, but in general, he thought that the initiative was a good one, Mr. Speaker, and I hope that the private sector, Mr. Speaker, ensures that these savings are passed to the consumers of St. Lucia. And the consumers of St. Lucia should look carefully, Mr. Speaker, and see what goods we are going to be publishing, the goods that are going to be affected, then, Mr. Speaker, so they can get the full impact of the removal of VAT, Mr. Speaker. And just as I end, the exempt goods and the zero-rated goods, Mr. Speaker, we've explained that before. The businesses cannot recoup the goods that are exempt. So they spread it throughout the entire store, entire supermarket, and the prices go up. Taking these goods out of exempt and making them zero, they can claim it, Mr. Speaker. So hopefully there ought to be an increase on all these goods, Mr. Speaker. That is as simple to understand, and the government has taken this step because we believe that these steps will reduce the cost of living for the people of St. Lucia, and they will be able to enjoy a better quality of life. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.